Dan Illman, Mike Beard, taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday. Race number 8 is the $200,000 Top Flight Invitational at 1 1/8 for fillies and mares. Sign up for a DRF Bets account. You won't be sorry. Deposit $100. Bet with $250. Learn more at bets.drf.com. Let's meet the field for the Top Flight Invitational. David Aragona's morning line favorite. This is a very tough race to make a line. Is the 6 Forever Liesel, 2-1 on the morning line. Forever Liesel really appreciates the 1 1/8. She really appreciates a wet track. So Michelle Nevin's doing the rain dance leading up to the Top Flight. But last time out, do you think it was a situation where Eric Consal realized there was no pace? Divine Miss Gray basically wired that field, and he had to get Forever Liesel into the race early, and that sapped her stretch kick?
I mean, I guess. I mean, overall, it's not like she hasn't shown in the past that she can keep close to a pace and still finish. So, I think overall she was pretty disappointing last time because Cancel did the right thing, and he got her into a good spot, tracking in behind Divine Miss Gray on that easy pace, and she just didn't fire for whatever reason. You could easily get past that race, I think, when you look at her race 2 back. And I think that's the reason she's the favorite on the morning line, is because her effort in the ladies, where she ran a 96 buyer over this distance. She ran really well that day. Can she run that race back? It does sort of stand out in her PPs as way the fastest race she's ever run. So, I don't know if she can really run that race back again, but if she does, it's pretty clear that she'll be tough to beat in here.
Approximate post time for this race on Saturday is 5:21. The over and under. The over is 3.5 minutes because of Frosty Ann. Frosty Ann just doesn't like the starting gate for whatever reason. You know she's going to throw a fit behind the gate. The jock's probably going to have to get off. You're going to have to get the blindfold on. You're going to have 5 attendants try to push her in. You're going to have the front of the gate opened up. But if Frosty Ann feels like running, she can run, as she's done in her last 2 starts for Rudy Rodriguez, where, again, she threw a fit in the, before the start. She went out there, and she's supposed to beat those horses.
Yeah, she was supposed to beat those. She was just better than them. She got right to the front. The race was never in doubt. A similar sort of situation 2 back, but that was a much better field. And she got to the lead that day. The rail was really strong. She rode it. They never got near her. It's 2 races in a row where she's run really well. And this is a mare who, it felt like she had lost her form prior to that. She was a little bit off form. She had won 6 in a row at one point last year, including a couple races over this distance. So I guess you don't really worry about 1 1/8 for her. We'll see how much pressure she takes on the lead then, and we'll see if she can keep her form going. I'm a little skeptical of her in this race, but she's pretty dangerous with her speed.
She is a cool mare. She's earned over $500,000, winning 15 of 37. Timeform US believes that she'll be able to make the lead yet again, and as Mike mentions, she has won at the 1 1/8 distance in the past. A horse that's going to be coming from mid-pack is the number 2, Another Broad, who was stakes placed at Laurel over a wet track 2 starts back in a 1-turn mile. I don't think you and I really loved that race. We found it a little bit surprising that she ended up in the Pletcher barn and running in the Royal Delta. And the Royal Delta was kind of an even performance, finishing behind Tequilita, who returned to run 3rd in the Inside Information with an 88 buyer. 1 1/8. Maybe this is what she's been waiting for.
Maybe it is. I mean, she has won around 2 turns in the past. That good run of form that she had late last year all came over wet tracks. They privately purchased her. They ran her in a grade 3. She was no factor. I don't think this race is any easier than that one. I think there are some good horses in here. She's an unknown at this distance. I don't know, Dan. I just don't really see the race that makes her a contender in here.
We see Jump Ruler close to the pace, and we wouldn't be surprised if she is sitting 1st or 2nd after the initial half mile. I really liked her win on February the 15th. Her first start as a 4-year-old against non-winners at 2 other than types. I thought that was a really rock-solid win. I was very surprised that Kelly Breen then entered her right back in for the 62.5 tag, and she won again, but she was claimed by a very sharp barn. And take a look at this formulator fact over the past 6 months. Older last out winners on dirt, when they're sharp, barn keeps them sharp. 55% winners, 8 of 11 on the board, 418 ROI. I have to admit I'm worried about the 9.
I'm worried about the 9 for her. Her recent form is really good. As you say, her win 2 back was excellent. That was a fast pace. She contested it. She kept clear through the stretch. She came back and won easily again last time. The spot's tougher. The distance feels like it could push her limits. Rob Atras, obviously, he's just putting up huge numbers since he went out on his own. Just in the recent past, he just started taking over his own stable. He got off to a furious start. I mean, they were all winning. He's actually cooled off a little, if you can believe it or not. His winning percentage is down to 42%. It was a lot higher than that. we'll see if he can improve this mare or this filly off the claim, because he's gonna have to improve her to beat this field.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Top Flight Invitational. Mike, you're going with the number 1, Midnight Disguise, and I think this one is a little bit dirtied up. She came off of a long layoff in the Biagio's Rose, got wired by Frosty Ann that day, and I thought that race is better than it looks, all things considered. Okay. And last time out in the Heavenly Prize, A, she caught a sloppy track, and she's just a big mare that I don't think, A, she's going to appreciate wet footing, and B, she just got wired with no pace. So I'm willing to throw that race out. And because she's a big mare, she's going to want 1 1/8 miles with some pace in it. She's wanted 1 1/8 miles in the past.
It seems like, you know, when you look at her, I mean, she's just this big hulking filly, and not only that, like she basically has one gear. She's not one of those that she has a big burst of speed. She's not going to make a big move at any point in the race. But if you keep her out in the clear, she'll just stay on, and she keeps going and keeps going. That was the case when she won the Busanda over this track and trip last year. They kept her in the clear, and she just kept coming through the stretch and ran that field down. Lascano was going to have to keep her out in the clear in this race. But I feel like, you know, I'm with you. I thought first off the left, I thought she went great. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that performance. I'm going to give her the sloppy track excuse last time, whether she deserves it or not. Fast track, more distance, clean trip. I'm hoping she can get there this time.
Like your top selection, mine, My Miss Lily, is a stakes winner over course and distance. She won the Gazelle last year before an ill-fated trip to the Kentucky Oaks where she didn't do much running. She ran okay behind the good Midnight Bizou and Road to Victory in the Mother Goose. Unfortunately was injured out of that race, needed some surgery. Came back off a long layoff in a 1-turn mile last time out. She broke in and got bumped at the start, and then ended up just pocketed. And really never got a clear run until the quarter pole. I would have liked to have seen her finish a little bit better once she did get clear, but for her first start off about an 8-month layoff at a distance that might be not her best, I thought My Miss Lily ran okay, and I know I'm going to get the jump on Midnight Disguise from mid-pack. I'd like Joe Bravo to be sitting 4th or 5th with her and try to get the run on the turn.
Yeah, listen, we look at her basically the same way. I agree with everything you said about her first start back off the layoff. I think she can get a better trip in this race. I was torn between her and Midnight Disguise. I wound up putting Midnight Disguise on top. I just thought she might be a little bit of a better price, but they're my 2 horses in here.
156, I believe, from Mike in here. I'm going 5, 4, 2, 3 in the Top Flight Invitational, one of 2 stakes at Aqueduct on Saturday. Bet the card with the DRF Bets account. No brainer. Deposit 100, bet with 250. Learn more at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Top Flight, 5:21 Eastern. Best of luck.